Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and today I am going to do my December and January haul. So this is everything that I bought or received for Christmas or my birthday. All of that stuff kind of happens at the same time. I don't actually normally buy myself a lot of things during that time because it allows other people to buy me things. So I can give them a list and they can buy me sort of some of those things off of that list. But also my budget is a little bit smaller, and so I've been trying to kind of hold back, and boy have I ever held back. It's been a really good month. So I am going to talk about all of the manga that I got as well as books and related goodies. I'm going to start with all of the manga that I bought myself this past 2 months, and that would be one. And I'm pretty pleased about this. I certainly want to be collecting more, and there's tons of titles I want to collect, but I was really happy about this because right now this is something that I want to be doing. So this is Sabu the Bruiser by Tadao Tsuge. This is just a single issue. It's by a very small print press that are located in Japan. This is by Tadao Tsuge, who is a creator, Gekika artist, and I have read something else by Tadao Tsuge and I really enjoyed it, and so I was really excited to see this also coming out. Plus this is translated by Ryan Holmberg, who I really respect his work and I really like to read his titles because it usually there just seems to be so much more in it, and it always is sort of really unique titles and really kind of titles that I personally want to be reading. So I'm always excited to see his name on things because I know that it's personally something that is going to, even if I don't like it, make me kind of feel enlightened in some way. So really excited to read this. If you are interested in Black Hook Press though, I will definitely leave a link down below because I think you can only buy from them direct, and they do have a couple of interesting titles in their catalog. Very small print press though. So moving on to the gifts that I received. I was given Strange Weather in Tokyo by Hiromi Kawakami. This is actually a novel. See, no pictures. How unusual. I had actually asked for this book. The cover image really just sort of seemed intriguing. It just looked really whimsical, and then when I read the description it just sounded like something I might be somewhat interested in. It is a bit about a a student who has graduated and her old teacher in a little romantic story. I particularly really like that dynamic, so I'm really interested in giving this a read. It's a little short one and I hope it's good. The next thing I ended up getting was a non-fiction book. This is Mangasia, I'm not entirely sure how it was intended to be pronounced, The Definitive Guide to Asian Comics. So this is basically covering all of Asia. It is not just limited to Japan, although Japan is a heavy focus in this. And it was written by Paul Gravett, who has written a number of large kind of coffee table-esque non-fiction books, most of which I think I've read, and I just really like his work. This is a beautiful book. It is very fully illustrated. I do have my finger here in a page because it's also a little bit dangerous for me to be sharing all of the pictures, but you can see that most of it is actually just illustration, although there is quite a lot of text as well. It's just a really nice book, but there is a little warning here that some of the contents may offend you, and I was given this before my birthday and before Christmas even, sort of out of the sight of other family members, because we do have quite a few young family members, just on the off chance that they would be interested enough to flip through this, because it is very adult in a lot of its content, but it looks like it's going to be really interesting to read, and it is a beautiful production, and I'm really pleased with it. So well done, Paul Gravett, and I will definitely be reading this in the year. Another non-fiction large comic history that I've received was We Told You So, Comics as Art. This is an oral history of Fantagraphics books by Tom Spurgeon with Michael Dean. It is a Fantagraphics production. It's got a very loose spine, and apparently that is the major review on this book. online as well, which is so strange because Fantagraphic usually makes such sturdy publications, and yet their nonfiction book is toppling over. But it looks like a really interesting production. There's lots and lots of pictures in it as well. Not as maybe graphically explicit as that other book, but there are still some adult things in here, and I was given this around children, and then I realized, oh no, stop showing them the pictures. So this is not necessarily appropriate for little children either, but it looks like a really interesting book, and it is quite a tome, so I am looking forward to reading this. I got a couple more books that are just sort of slightly less related, but still in my interest area. I got this one, which is Looking East, Western Artists and the Allure of Japan. This is really, I think, discussing probably modern artists and the concept of Japanism. And it is a particular concept and a particular era of modern art that I am particularly fond of and I love reading about. And this is a really nice little just a little summary, a little overview of that time, and the art in it is just wonderful, so really happy to have this. I'm also really interested in, of course, Japan's infatuation with the West, and so I also received this book, Japan Envisions the West, 16th to 19th Century Japanese Art from Kobe City Museum. I have actually read a little bit of this because my library owns it, and I have checked it out a few times. I just have never finished reading it. It's a really, really wonderful book, and it is published by Seattle Art Museum. It's a really nice publication, so another just really nice art book to add to my collection. And I have actually showed another book by this particular author on this channel. This is Sister and I from Victoria to London by Emily Carr. Emily Carr is a famous and important Canadian artist from the Victorian period, and she wrote a number of journals for her sister when they were traveling, and so they ended up being quite kind of cartoonish, and they're just so delightful to read about. She's just got such a great personality. She's just such an interesting character, and there's so much actual writing from this particular artist that I absolutely love. So I was really happy to add this to my collection. I think I have one more journal that has been published that I don't have that I would like to add, but everything that I read of her I absolutely love, and I love her art as well, so she really is my favorite Canadian painter for sure. Moving back into manga, I was actually given a second-hand manga from my sister, and it's something that I have literally been looking for years, like years and years and years, and it has been on the top of my mind, and I have actually ended up purchasing this volume in Japanese in Japan, in Akihabara, because that was the only way for me to be able to fill this particular gap in my collection. So she ended up finding Volume 3 of Cheeky Angel by Hiroyuki Nishimori. I am definitely going to be reading this very soon, and I might even have it started before this video gets up. It's such a fun shonen manga. I don't know, there's just something about this one in particular that I really like. It is, really takes, sort of a more of a gender-bended type story. So there is this young boy, I think he's in like maybe 5th or 6th grade, and he meets a genie, I think, or some person who he can ask a request of, and he be asked to become the coolest and strongest and most awesome boy ever, or to grow up to become this thing. And so he ends up waking up as the coolest and strongest girl possible. And I think because of the way that Japanese language doesn't use gendered language, that this joke actually can work. It doesn't really work in the English translation, but it's so funny, and he's always kind of struggling against it, even though he's this like beautiful, awesome girl. And there is a gangster or Yankee kid from the high school that's totally in love with her, and it's so much fun. It's so hilarious, and I love it so much. So she's very the coolest girl ever. So yeah, I really, really like this one. Unfortunately, because it's secondhand, it actually isn't in the best shape, but it's still better than no volume 3. and apparently she was able to get it for my target price, which is cover price, so well done. Yeah, still going to be on the lookout for a better edition or better conditioned edition, but volume 3, hooray. And then this one my sister actually bought for me at the store, and that's Shiver by Junji Ito. This is a new release. I think it's short stories, and it's just sort of the next selection of stuff by Junji Ito. And it was really funny because she had bought it, and I was about to flip through it, and then I couldn't find it, and then I was like, oh, I'll read through something else. And then at my birthday she had wrapped it, so it was like, come on, like, you had me pick it out at the store. So anyway, that was kind of funny, and I totally was surprised because I didn't know she had wrapped it. I didn't know where she had put it. Anyway, I'm really happy to have this. I love Junji Ito. It's one of my faves, and I'm really excited to get into this one. And she also bought me another one, and this one does have kind of an inappropriate cover, so close your eyes. It is Comics Underground Japan, edited by Kevin Quigley. This is a compilation, again, of short stories from a variety of different underground or alternative artists. There are a handful of artists in here that I do recognize, like Suehiro Maruo was in here. And we did read a couple of them. So they're very short stories. We did read a couple and we were chuckling because some of them were quite bizarre. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. This is another title from Blast Books. It was published in 1996, and it's in like perfect condition. It looks like it was just published this year, so I was really happy to have this because this was actually sitting in my cart on Amazon, and I kept thinking, do I want to buy it today? Do I want to buy it today? So I'm really happy to have this, and I can't wait to read it. So that was it for the books and manga, and I am going to just show you a couple of these other things that I got. These are all items that my sister gave me, so you know they're going to have some sort of relevance, and also she got a little bit carried away, I think, so I ended up getting quite a lot of stuff from her, like most of those manga and all of this stuff I'm going to show you, including a pile of socks. Not normally that interesting, but they're, you know, Sailor Moon, and Pokemon, and some single ones. This is Aurelie-chan from Dr. Slump, who I love. I love Aurelie-chan. I want all the Aurelie-chan. She's my favorite. Squirtle, little Charmander, that's a pretty cute one. A Pikachu, and this one's got little ears that pop up, so that's really cute. My favorite Pokemon, Psyduck. Either that or Wobbuffet. I like the stupid ones. Yeah. Anyway, I just sort of have a particular love of socks with characters on them. I only wear socks with characters on them, and I wear them all the time. So, yeah, I definitely always need socks with characters on them. It just puts me in a good mood to know that that's in my shoes, and I'm a child, and I need them. So what else did she give me? She also gave me this little stand-up calendar, which I'm going to be bringing to work. I'm not a particular fan of basketball, I must admit, but I love Takehiko Inoue, and who doesn't love Sakuragi-kun, so I'm going to be super happy to have him sitting on my desk. And she gave me a number of tin pen cases, so this one is Aurelie-chan, you can see here. This one I haven't taken out of the plastic yet, again, another Dr. Slump, but this is sort of like the whole group. And the last thing that she gave me was a DS game for my Nintendo DS, just the original DS, and that is the Dr. Slump Aurelie-chan game. You can see I haven't taken it out of plastic, but this is sort of what the game looks like on the back. I hope it's easy enough to play, because since it is in Japanese, I don't know how I'm going to be able to play this. But it'll be fun trying to figure it out, and I'm going to have to dig my DS out now and charge it. And apparently she bought herself a game too, I think a Dragon Ball game, so maybe we will both play our DS sometime. I don't know. Anyway, it was kind of fun to add a little bit more to my Aurelie-chan collection, because I love Aurelie-chan. She is certainly my favorite franchise. So yeah, anytime that I see Aurelie-chan's face, just puts me in such a good mood. She's the best. So yeah, pretty awesome. So not a lot of manga, not a lot of manga coming up either. I only actually have one title pre-ordered, which actually happens to be another Tadao Tsuge, so that first comic that I showed you, another comic by the same author called Slum Wolf, I think, also translated by Ryan Holmberg. But I don't have anything else pre-ordered at this moment, although I do have about 3 places that I am placing orders sometime. So hopefully the budget will let me press purchase, because there's a couple of really cool things in those carts, but it is, we're just a little bit of a break at the moment. But lots of other cool things that are coming into my collection, and there's still going to be lots of stuff on this channel, so hopefully you'll stick around for that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.